There's this saying that goes something like this: beware of an old man in a profession where men die young. And in Gundam 08th MS Team, there is one pilot who I think is the literal embodiment of this saying, and that pilot is Norris Packard. I think his fight against Shiro Hamada and the other Gundams at the end of 08th MS Team is one of the best fights in Gundam and one of the best fights just in general, and we're going to talk about that fight today. I love the way that the Gouf is launched into the battlefield from an elevator and is just standing atop the buildings with the sun beaming behind it as the pilots from the ground stare up at it. Already an ominous foreshadowing of the skill level between the single Gouf pilot and the others as he looks down on them. Packard is trying to secure a safe escape route for Aina and the Kurigan as his battle IQ and tactical prowess immediately become apparent. As he scans his surroundings, he assesses the battlefield. 3 mobile suits, 3 gun tanks, and 1 command truck. He's already above 1 tank and grapples to the water tower and rappels into the building. One of the Gundam pilots tries to predict where he's going to be, and while falling, shoots, but misses because Norris had grappled to the tower and halted his trajectory. He takes out the first gun tank, 2 to go. They realize that he isn't just another pilot, he's an ace. Shiro even says that he's better than them all. Many of the other Gundam pilots kind of laugh and scoff at what Shiro had said, because in their minds this is a single pilot who is outnumbered against so many Gundams, and they have a command truck who's also helping scan the battlefield. Shiro was able to know instantly that they can't let their guard down. Like, this guy is different. Like, in the first 3 seconds of that fight, he had already taken out a gun tank and had predicted that they would try and shoot him and used the water tower as a grapple point. So Shiro was already willing to accept the fact that Norris was built different. And this fight perfectly exemplifies the experience and skill level of an ace pilot compared to those of regular to above average pilots. And the skill gap is massive. Norris finds his next victim and unloads his Gatling gun in a line near the Gundam protecting it, but not at it. This creates a smoke screen, and while they're trying to find out where he went, his grapple hook launches out of the smoke and rips the gun out of her hands and emerges out of the smoke, slamming her Gundam into the wall. After recovering, she shoots at him but realizes he's not in front of her, and that's when she turns and sees that he's already on top of another gun tank, driving his sword into it. You see, Norris knew that tactically it was more important to take out the gun tank before taking out a Gundam that he had already disarmed, because at that point they just were no longer effective. 1 gun tank left, and Norris wastes no time running towards it, and while taking fire, the bridge he's running on collapses and he falls into the rubble. And that's when a gigantic piece of the rubble is lifted in a display of strength, and as we get this terrifying ground POV of the Gouf as it's walking towards the Gundam. Shiro Hamada's first move is rapid fire at Norris, which is respectable since what else can you do but panic fire when this guy is running at you, but virtually all of his shots are blocked. Shiro dodges Norris and uses a building as cover from his fire, but then makes a mistake by launching directly into the air, but he saves himself by extending his backpack restraints and uses them to reduce his falling speed by grabbing onto the building. As he does this, he fires literally every weapon he has as he falls. But this proves to only show a further distance in skill between these two, as Norris just stands in the same spot as a spray of machine gun fire traces the ground around him. Nothing had hit, and he didn't even have to move. This scene is absolutely awesome. The animation is amazing. I love how this Gundam's parts are shaking and an unreasonable amount of bullets are shot, only for none of them to hit, and I think it perfectly encapsulates the nature of a green, inexperienced fighter versus the calm, collected nature of an experienced fighter. Norris goes to destroy the last tank, but Shiro scrambles out of the wreckage to block the shots, using his own Gundam. Norris, seeing Shiro's determination and heart to protect the gun tank, makes him happy to have found a worthy opponent and a good place to die, while launching a flare into the air for Aina and the Kurigan to make their escape without him. takes out his sword and squares off with Shiro. He knows that Shiro's rifles are all out of ammunition because he wasted them in the Hellfire attack that he did earlier. So he opts to take away his defense and grapple hooks onto his shield, disarming him. He then proceeds to get a couple hits off with his sword, damaging the EZ8's arm, and again, in a genius tactical move, he disables Shiro's EZ8, and instead of just destroying it, he uses it as a shield, as the other Gundam pilots run over, using him as a hostage. I think it's actually way more impressive that he's able to disarm each of these Gundams rather than just destroying them, as it shows us he's able to utilize everything in his environment to take out his enemies, even the enemies himself. Because multiple times he's just disabled the enemies and then used that to his advantage. Shiro gets his bearings and his EZ8 turns back on, and he kicks off the Gouf to create some distance between the two. Norris grapple hooks the sword on the ground near him, and in the coolest, most iconic part of this fight, Shiro tears off his disabled arm and uses it as a weapon, hitting the Gouf with it. I feel like this scene encapsulates the desperation to win, tearing off his own arm and swinging it wildly like some sort of wild animal, gnawing at its own arm to escape a trap. Shiro's youthful and naive nature, a counter philosophy to Norris's experienced, tactical, and precise battle philosophy. I mean, we've seen it time and time again in this fight. While doing this, Shiro is screaming for his love for Aina. Norris realizes that Shiro is the one that Aina is in love with, and gets caught off guard as Shiro hits the Gouf in the head, breaking its piping. Norris regroups, knowing that he needs to complete his mission. One gun tank remaining, and he spots it in the distance, and that's when he decides that it's time to take it out. Shiro tries to stop him with his beam saber, but Norris continues anyway, and as Shiro cuts the Gouf Custom in half, he shoots the final gun tank. He has won. Shiro acknowledges Norris's victory and battle prowess. I love how this fight is so grounded, in a slower urban environment, rather than whizzing around space at Mach 10. I think it really encapsulates just like what makes an ace pilot an ace pilot, and their ability to tactically analyze the battlefield and make decisions like just disabling certain Gundams instead of just destroying them. And you've got these machines moving around like they are giant machines that have a weight. Also, the tactical nature of this fight, as Norris is outnumbered 1-6 and has to use his battle IQ to take out each of the gun tanks and deal with multiple Gundams at the same time. I also really like how they were able to depict the Gouf Custom as like a terrifying force. I mean, each time you saw it, the way that they would animate it or light it made it just look so much more terrifying, because it really was terrifying for these pilots, because it seemed like there was nothing they could do. It was like in a video game when the other team just has like the Omega Sweat who just cannot be defeated no matter what you guys do, and they're just taking out your teammates one by one. Personally love 08th MS Team. I feel like this fight kind of encapsulates the entirety of the show in terms of just the grounded nature of everything, as it's taking place in a urban environment rather than in space. And yeah, I just love this fight, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I think I want to try and do some more videos about other fights in Gundam that I really enjoy, and just kind of like talk about them and things that I like about it. But yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.